bestrobo.in, your favorite robotic and electronics store in India.
Hello everyone, welcome to Mifratech. Today in this section we will learn about SW520 tilt sensor. It is mainly used in order to detect the tilt and orientations. So this is how a SW520 tilt sensor will look like. So it mainly has 3 pins, a VCC in order to provide power supply, a ground pin that we have to connect to ground, and a digital output pin. Then it has 2 LEDs here. One is a power LED, one more is a status LED. The power LED, it will glow whenever we provide a power supply to this sensor module, and the status LED, whenever a tilt is detected, that time this status LED will glow. And it has a LM393 comparator here IC, and we can adjust the sensitivity of this tilt sensor using this potentiometer. And front, as you can see, this is a gold color one. This one is the real SW520 tilt sensor. So these are the different things present in this SW520 tilt sensor module. So next we'll see how to connect this tilt sensor. So as I told, it has mainly 3 pins. In some cases it has 4 pins also, analog and digital values also it can give. So ground will connect to 5 volts power supply. Ground will connect to ground pin, and VCC pin will connect to 5 volts power supply, and D0 and A0 will connect to analog and digital pins of this microcontroller. And depending on the orientation of the tilt sensor, it will give the values. So this SW520D is the basic tilt sensor which can easily use to detect any orientation. Okay. So inside this tilt sensor, as I shown you, this is what the tilt sensor. So there can be like a ball that make the contact with the pins when the case is upright. So this tilt the case over the balls that does not making any connection. So depending on the orientation how the tilt sensor is making, it will measure the tilt orientation. The tilt sensor allows to detect orientation, or you can find out inclination arrow. It detects if the sensor is completely upright or if it is tilted or not. It will detect. We will use a piezo module to make a sound every time the switch makes the contact. Here we are using on piezo buzzer in order to make, whenever a tilt sensor is working, we are making a contact here. So how it exactly work means, so these ball switch type of tilt sensor has a type of digital switch that changes state from open to close based on this inclination. So whenever it is open, there will be an open state, and when it is in contact, it will be in closed state, like that. Depending on the related to the earth gravitational field, it will work. Depending on that, it will give the inclination or orientation values. Electrically, they behave much like a push button. So we have used in the past. So like how a push button will work, in the similar way this sensor will work. So when the switch closes, like when it come in contact, it closes, or not conduct in the open, it not conducting when it opens, like that it will work. So like inside the tilt sensor, it exactly look like this. As you can see here, whenever the switch is on condition, they will be in contact. When they are in contact, they will be like switched on. When they are not in, there will be like a switched off condition. Mechanically, they usually consist of a hollow shell. As you can see, they will be a cylindrical shell and a conductive free mass inside. There is 2 balls type. As you can see, a blob of mercury or a rolling metallic ball will be there. So on the end of the shell, the sensor has 2 more conductive elements that become the shorted when the sensor or orientation is such that a free mass inside the rolls and makes a physical contact with them. I think as you can see, there will be there are 2 free mass ball inside the cylindrical shape. So in order to conduct, there will be like 2 probes like things in the outside. So whenever these balls will make in contact with those probes, they will be in switched on condition. When they are not in contact, as you can see in the right side picture, they will be in a switched off condition. Like this, how it make inside this tilt sensor will work. So what are the features of this tilt sensor means, it detects orientation or inclination. It is small and inexpensive and low power, and it is easy to use and easy to interface, and it has a long life. So the technical details means it needs a power supply of between 3.3 volts to 5 volts. So generally we will provide a 5 volts DC supply in order to turn on the tilt sensor. Output can be directly connected to controller. So the maximum output current is 15 milliamps. It can work on low voltages also between this range 3.3 to 5 volts. So the maximum operating temperature is 0 to plus 80 degrees Celsius. It will work. So what are the application of this tilt sensor? You can be you can use this tilt sensor in security systems, digital cameras, toys, motors, robotic arms, wherever you want to find out inclination or orientation or tilt. In those conditions, you can make use of this SW520 tilt sensor. It can in the measuring instrumentation like instruments, vending machines, hobby project. In different projects you can make use of this, and you can control, like connect to any microcontrollers. So next we'll see how to interface this SW520 tilt sensor with Arduino Uno microcontroller. So it has mainly 3 pins, as I see VCC now, which have to provide power supply. So I connected to 5 volts of Arduino Uno microcontroller. Next ground pin I have grounded here, and next one is the output pin. This I have connected to pin number 5 of this is the digital output pins. So D5 of Arduino Uno microcontroller. This is a simple way in order to connect this 5 to SW520 tilt sensor. Next we'll connect in order to see the output. We are using buzzer and LED also we are connecting here. So buzzer I am connected to pin number 6 of this digital Arduino Uno microcontroller, and LED I have connected to pin number 3, as you can see here. So this is a simple way you can interface this SW520 tilt sensor with Arduino Uno microcontroller. Next we will see how to program it. So I connected a pin LED at a pin number 3, a tilt sensor at pin number 5, and buzzer at pin number 6, that we have to define. After that as we are using the buzzer, I am setting the int sound as 250 initially. After that we have to define the pin mode. So this is the sample code. It depends, you can change it however you want depending on your particular project. So pin mode LED is I am using as the output. So output, tilt sensor as it is a sensor, it has to detect the value, so it should be in the input mode. So input, so buzzer is also output. After that, so as I am connected to as it is connected to digital pin, so I am using digital read of tilt sensor. Whatever the values given by the tilt sensor, when it is high means there is like tilting. At that condition, whenever like orientation or tilt is detected, I am turning on both LEDs and buzzer. As you can see, digital rate of LED I am making high, that will turn on the LED, and tone of buzzer, that will turn on the buzzer, it will give the beep sound. Else if it is the value detected by tilt sensor is not detected, it is low means at that condition I am turning off the buzzer and the LED also. After that I am giving a 300 millisecond of delay. So this is the sample code in order to interface tilt sensor with Arduino and execute. In this way you can interface this SW520 tilt sensor in order to detect orientation or inclination with any microcontroller, and you can measure it. So thank you for watching the video. Thank you.